Hello guys, and welcome back to another reaction with SunnyV2. We watched one of his videos last time and I decided to look for another one that would be interesting. And it's this scumbag TikToker who faked Tourettes for clout. The reason this one caught my attention is because I'm actually diagnosed. I've been diagnosed with Tourettes many years ago. I work my very best for it to not be noticeable. So the fact that someone would fake it for clout is so weird to me. I put so much effort and stress into hiding mine, but you fake it for clout. How does that earn you clout? Well, we're gonna find out. So that's why I'm curious about this one. So we're gonna watch this.
Emerald claimed to have suffered from Tourette's syndrome since the age of 6 or 7. A disorder which made her life incredibly difficult over the years, so she claimed. By mid-2021, at the age of 27, she was using her 500,000 follower TikTok account Ticks and Roses to raise awareness about Tourette's, whilst simultaneously promoting her yarn dyeing business.
Hi, this is Emerald with Stardust Fiber Studio.
On your face.
I am one of the owners. I also do awareness videos for Tourette's on TikTok.
However, it was with videos like the one we're about to show that began to raise suspicions about whether or not
this specific
TikToker actually had Tourette's syndrome, after noticing that her apparent condition felt forced or fake.
Well, I wanted to talk
it's very dramatic.
Wow. I wanted to talk. Wow. I wanted to talk a little bit about wow.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest, dude. So I don't have a frame of reference. I've never met anybody that's not me that can say that they got diagnosed with Tourette's. But just using me as the entire frame of reference, that does not just happen. You do not just start doing all these many different things out of literally nowhere.
Never mind.
Also, it's very
these
forced.
Suspicions were eventually confirmed to be true. Ticks and Roses was exposed brutally, eventually resulting in the permanent deletion of her account. This video will detail exactly how the internet came to discover that she was faking it, all beginning with a subreddit dedicated.
I feel like this would be like a most extreme case. If you just had these full body convulsions and just these like neck ticks combined with words like that and like noises like at the same time, completely overriding what you're doing in the middle of trying to do it, that would be like a most extreme scenario possible of having Tourette's. That's crazy.
To the truth and an old Facebook live stream. We mentioned earlier that alongside her Ticks and Roses TikTok page, Emerald also ran a yarn dyeing business called Stardust Fiber Studio, which—
What is he saying? Yarn dyeing? Maybe it's an accent. Yarn dyeing? I don't know.
Which had its own Facebook page. On this Facebook page, Emerald would often
said textile, so I don't know.
dating back to 2020, before her Tourette's TikTok had become popular in early to mid 2021.
And let me guess,
the bizarre part
she
about
doesn't
one
have
of these
Tourette's
old live streams was that, despite apparently
in the
having
videos.
Tourette's since the age of 6 to 7, during the entire 1 minute 54-second video, Emerald didn't tick, not even once.
I've had mine since I was like, I don't know, 11 or something. I was only diagnosed with it when I was like 23. Because I thought it was just normal and that I was weird. Well, that doesn't make sense. I thought I was weird, but that being weird is normal. It wasn't until much later that I found out that that's what it was. And technically I found a medicine that helps for it, but I don't take it because it has weird side effects. But I mean, 1 minute 53 seconds of not ticking, that's not actually very impressive, especially like depending on the ticks they are. Sorry, I'm going to be like overanalyzing this the whole time just because I have this, so this interests me. And I don't know anybody else that has it, so I can't like, I don't know, talk about it much. But hers were very extreme, so I understand. Like those full body like she was doing. And then the noises that just completely stopped whatever she was doing entirely.
We are wrapping up with planting all of the little seedlings now.
Oh, that reverb scared me.
He's finishing up with the broccoli right now, or cauliflower.
In the videos that were displayed on the Ticks and Roses TikTok page, she's often seen ticking once every 1 to 3 seconds, sometimes even more than that. Therefore, a full 1 minute 54-second old undeleted live stream in which she didn't tick once was certainly some interesting early evidence against the authenticity of her disorder. When the discussion of the Facebook live stream began—
I will say, to be fair, I mean, obviously it's already known that she's a liar, but like, I don't know. I just want to drop information while I watch this. To be fair, you can have months where you barely tick at all, and you can have months where you do certain ticks so much that it causes nonstop physical pain. So, you know, it could be different. Obviously, she's faking it, but I don't know. Take some knowledge. Shrug.
Shop regularly in her TikTok comments, Emerald actually had a pretty reasonable defense, and would even respond to a specific TikTok that
yo, dude, oh my god, if your ticks are like, well, they're not because you're faking it, but if they were like that, why would you be cooking, man? God.
Brought it up. You should check out her YouTube Stardust Fiber Studio and take note of how she doesn't have a tick in any of the videos. Maybe you'll think twice. To which she would respond, hey, so this is a comment I saw a lot and I wanted to clear up a few things, before explaining that the ticks didn't happen all the time and that it was possible for her to make short videos without any involuntary outbursts. The excuse,
which is, to be fair, a good excuse. I watched the cheating gamers in like the last one and they had terrible excuses when they got caught cheating. This chick is getting caught in a lie, and that is literally what I just said. That is basically what I just said. And sort of. I said like there's months where it's good and months where it's bad, but if you put a lot of effort into it, maybe certain tricks as well, like snapping your wrist with a rubber band, for example, something that makes you like hyper aware, whatever the ticks are, you can, for periods of time, combat them. And that is true, especially if it's just a couple minutes. But, you know, obviously she's faking it.
Was reasonable and accepted by many, well, momentarily. Shortly thereafter, Reddit would uncover another full 54-minute live stream, again without a single tick, rendering her previous excuse slightly less believable. There were other pieces of similar evidence. For example, she'll post a TikTok titled Nursery Rhymes with Tourettes, in which she couldn't get past the first line of reading without ticking, yet Reddit would find an example of her reciting a written poem for 2.5 minutes in an old clip without a single sign of even the slightest tick.
Wow. Could I go like an hour straight without ticking? I feel like I do when I sleep. Sometimes when I'm really, really, really focused on a good month, maybe I can, right? But usually it's impossible for at least some small ones to get through, right? And I try to dissuade my brain away from more obvious ones and go for more subtle ones. So... but nothing about her was subtle in the slightest. But so an hour? Even in front of a camera, I'd say that's hard to believe.
Was incredibly simple to follow. On her TikTok, the ticks were uncontrollable, yet in any other situation, they were non-existent. With evidence suggesting that her condition had been fabricated, Emerald felt the pressure to prove that her Tourette's was in fact real, at which point she would apparently go and see a specialist to get a proper diagnosis, uploading a video of her consultation to TikTok.
So I know you've all probably seen the chaos happening on my channel, so I wanted to show a little bit of my last outpatient consultation.
While Emerald likely
okay, so a video of it. History of present illness. You can lie your way into this. I don't like the word vasovagal. What the fuck does that mean? What is all of this, dude? That's a lot of things, man. Jesus Christ. All right. Wow. A consultation. This is not... Is this okay? This is not okay. Like, I don't know. Because I'm saying I have Tourette's. I'm telling you this, yes. But when anything is like a mental health thing, which is what Tourette's is considered, I believe, right? Because you have to go through like a psychiatrist. Yeah. Do you know how much you have to sign off on things to get any information release at all? And then specify who it's going to and for what purpose? Now, maybe she's done that, but like, I don't know. Like, how did you get this for a video? That just seems so weird. But it's not just that, too. She's got like depression, PTSD, OCD, anxiety, another PTSD with a period. Like 2 different PTSDs, ADHD, autism. Like this would require a sign off and specifying who is going to history. Who? This is just a consultation. This is so weird to me. Do you know how controlled this information is? This is really controlled information. To just get proof of it?
Assume that this would silence the haters, so to speak. It really only did the opposite. Many were suspicious of the letter owing to a multitude of mistakes and oddities within the writing. For example,
okay, oh, I didn't even think about that. She could have just written this up herself. That's true. Okay, because I was gonna say, fuck about oddities, dude. Also, yeah, like past medical history. And then there's physical things here, like anemia. I don't know what all this stuff is, I'm gonna be honest, but this wouldn't all be on the same sheet, first off. And even if you did, the bureaucratic hellhole it would be to get this on a printed piece of paper without it being, it's not written to anybody. It's not written to another doctor or an organization or anything. It's just in her hand. How did you do that? Like that's not real.
For example, PTSD had been written twice in the list of past medical history.
Yeah,
why was it necessary to include that she was a very pleasant 27-year-old left-handed lady in the...
Yeah, doctor. I've seen doctor write-ups. They don't write that. They're very plain with it. They're very basic, very to the point. When you read stuff like this from doctors, nurses, or whatever, it's always like, patient presents with blah, 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 blah. Patient reports, blah, 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 blah. Patient, blah, blah, blah. Like, very pleasant, 27-year-old left-handed. You know, at one point, on one of mine, it said, like, patient looks older than reported. And I was just like, what the how fucking dare you?
The history of present illness. OCD with anxiety disorder is just flat out wrong. OCD is an anxiety disorder.
Yeah, that one's kind of weird. Like, in my head, I thought, aren't these two separate? But I thought it was just so weird for her to have a list to begin with. I didn't really dig deeper into it.
Anxiety disorder is not a diagnosis. It is a family of diagnoses. You would have to say generalized anxiety disorder, panic disorder, or unspecified or something. This is not how anyone would code or...
I've seen them write like anxiety disorder, just like without specifying.
Write this. The letter was certainly suspicious.
But yeah.
However, to Emerald's credit, doctors definitely have a reputation for being somewhat careless when it comes to writing. Perhaps the doctor was in a rush and put down PTSD twice without realizing. Maybe Emerald lacked wisdom when it came to life choices, yet I don't think she'd be...
To be fair, true. I've had a doctor prescribe me something, and when he was inputting it, he said he got like pop-ups in his computer, like suggesting other medicines or offering deals for other medicines or something, like from whatever program he has to use to input it. And he accidentally clicked a pop-up without realizing it. This is what he told me. And because of that, I got prescribed a completely random medicine I had never heard of.
Be dumb enough to print a fake letter without reading over it at least once. Mentioning left-handedness actually makes sense if you're a doctor who's aware that there are many genuine genetic and neurological differences between right and left-handers. Perhaps Emerald simply went to somewhat of a careless doctor and pretended to have tics throughout the short consultation, providing her with a legitimate diagnosis for a fake condition.
Yeah, I say like you can fake your way into it.
The letter herself in Microsoft Word or Photoshop, highlighted by one comment on the diagnosis letter video. Hey, no hate, just...
Getting the... What does consultation mean? Like, what does that mean? Like, a real question. Like, I know what the word consultation means, but what would it mean in a situation where you go see a doctor and then they list out a history of your illnesses that you report? That's not something doctors do. They don't let you see them and then give you a printed out history. Like, what are you going to do with that? Especially if it has protected mental health information on it. Even if it was just physical. Like, they don't just let you show up and then give you that. If you're going to get that, then they're going to want you to give them a name of someone they're addressing it to, right? I don't know, man. This shit's so weird.
I went to Virginia Mason in Seattle a few weeks ago, and my paperwork had a different logo on it. Did you go to a different one? An interesting thing that no one on Reddit seemed to pick up on is that the genuine Virginia Mason logo has a small TM placed after the name, yet the letter Emerald shows in the photo has no TM. And if you go onto Google Maps, search up Virginia Mason logo, filter to photos with a transparent background, and look at the first image, you'll see a logo identical to the one within the TikTok without the little TM as is shown in almost every other official version of the logo. With many assuming that the letter had been faked, she would then be trolled by people making their own forgeries of the document, such as this one, which read, "Patient, ticks and roses. Doctor, fictitious. Date of birth, who cares. Chief complaint, fraud." All of which completed in the exact same style as the original letter. After being completely and utterly backed into a corner, Ticks and Roses would disable comments on the video before deleting it days later. At the same time, she'd also delete everything from her Instagram page, with one Reddit post stating, "TLDR has deleted all posts on their Instagram. Maybe," which was then confirmed by a comment reading, "Can confirm it, I don't see anything on their profile." However, many wanted further punishment against Ticks and Roses. Specifically, they wanted the TikTok account deleted. Take down Ticks and Roses merch and platform, read one change.org petition with over 2,000 signatures. This disease is not a joke, and she clearly finds it funny to fake it to gain clicks, followers, and even money.
I just don't understand how having Tourette's can give you followers, clicks, and money. I just don't understand that to begin with. Exploiting it? I mean, you're not I have Tourette's. Do I feel exploited? No. What does that even mean? She's misrepresenting it. She's gonna make you think it's something it's not, but like, there's liars everywhere that lie about all kinds of things. Is this really very special? I don't know. Like, should she be banned for lying? Just generally. I think there's plenty of liars on all kinds of social media. Unless you're going to start banning all of them, then I don't see what the problem is. It's just a terrible disease with no cure. I mean, there's things that can help with it, but I don't know. Like, this is weird to me. I don't really know.
She's been selling merchandise for her own personal gain and fortune. As far as I and many others know, she's been faking Tourette's and many other illnesses, with proof me and others have found. Like I said in the first part, this illness isn't a joke. It's not quirky, it's not a game, it's a terrible disease with no cure, and she's been doing disgusting things to profit off it.
How do you profit off of Tourette's?
On how Ticks and Roses had impacted their life personally.
I don't understand.
I'm signing this because my husband suffers from Tourette's. Every day, his body does things that he does not want to do. It's embarrassing and it wears him out.
It really does wear you out, dude. Whether you're successfully suppressing them or they're happening, it wears you out. For example, let's say one tick you have is to crack, this is just an example, it's one that I've had, to crack your wrist. Mine change over time, but let's just say that's one, or to bend it or something. That can give you carpal tunnel. It is exhausting. It really, really is.
This person is not doing this for awareness. They're doing this simply because their business has been profiting from the merchandise they make about their Tourette's, which she does not have. I'm asking any and all others to please sign this petition. Having tics is not a trend. Tics are not something to try and gain attention from. This person is disgusting.
But is it ban-worthy? I mean, I don't think so, right? Unless the platform specifically says that you're not allowed to do that, then I don't see why she would get banned for it. It's bad, clearly. It's stupid, clearly. But, like, she's humiliated already. Just keep making fun of her. That's all, like... I don't know. It's like a kid doing something dumb, you know? Does the kid go to jail? Does he get banned from everything that he has? No. You'll, like, shame the kid primarily. There's many ways to do that, but, like, just to make him learn.
By this point,
this is kind of like
wasn't
that,
exactly popular or
right?
well respected by those who once followed her
I would think so.
It felt like it was only going to be so long until Reddit users found a strong enough piece of evidence to put a stop to the antics altogether, or so they thought. Instead, they would find an old video which actually added credibility to Emerald, derailing the project in the short term.
My name is Emerald, and I have Huntington's disease. It affects all aspects of a person's life. It causes movement disorders, such as involuntary jerking, impaired gait and balance, and difficulty with speech and swallowing.
In yet another old Facebook livestream, before her TikTok had blown up, at a time when she had less motive to lie, Tix and Roses somewhat sincerely shared information about her experience with Huntington's disease, stating that one of the symptoms was involuntary jerking.
So yes, I have Huntington's disease. But Huntington's disease doesn't have me.
In addition to the video, Reddit users found an old Huntington's disease fundraiser from October 2014 hosted by Emerald, which stated, "Huntington's disease is something that affects my entire family. My grandfather was diagnosed and shortly after my mother as well. I'm doing this walk for my grandfather, for my mother, and for those in my family that have the potential for having this disease as well." While many on Reddit remained skeptical in comments as blatant as, "I don't believe she has Huntington's disease," the video, in combination with the 2014 fundraiser, gave her a pretty good case proving that she did in fact have the disease. However, people quickly
Why does that matter? I thought the focus was Tourette's and tics. Who cares if she has Huntington's disease?
discovered something else associated with this diagnosis that was extraordinarily fishy. In order to be diagnosed with Tourette's syndrome, you must have symptoms that are not the result of another medical condition such as Huntington's disease. Even if she does have tics.
I did not know that. That is news to me. Okay, good to know.
Which is major doubt here. No doctor should be diagnosing her with Tourette's. Instead, any good doctor should be telling them that their tics, again, major doubt, are a byproduct of their Huntington's. This
that makes
meant
sense.
that if she did truly have Huntington's, the case...
Actually, I didn't even know there was any other conditions that could cause tics. When it was explained to me, it was told to me that there's just... Because I was questioning him when he said I had Tourette's, and I was like, well, isn't there anything else? Because isn't that the verbal one? Because I had misunderstood what it was as well, because of the meme of the guy going fuck, you know, just etc. He's like, no, there's pretty much just like that and tic disorder, and in the DSM they're defined like basically identically. So I didn't know that there was more. I just had to be right back, get my dinner. Let's get through this video, man.
For her having
so I can
Tourette's
eat.
Was now even weaker. However, there was still no rock-solid evidence proving that she was, in fact, a cold, hard liar. But people hadn't given up hope. And there was still one place from which the truth could be found. Her family themselves. In the fundraiser from 2014, Emerald mentioned that Huntington's disease is something that affects my entire family. Also mentioning that she had a 14-year-old sister. Well, this specific sister would discover the Reddit thread after it had gained international attention, after which she would shatter the wall of lies that Emerald had been hiding behind as her TikTok grew larger and larger.
I was getting concerned. I'm like, please don't tell me you started contacting a 14-year-old.
On the 31st of May 2021, a user by the name
she
of
introduced herself.
would make a post to the
That's
subreddit
better.
titled "Introducing Myself and the Truth," which contained the following message.
It's concerning that a 14-year-old is on Reddit. That place is a hellhole, but like, it's better that she's showing up and that they're not tracking down her 14-year-old sibling.
I recently found out about everything going on. I wanted to clear up some misconceptions and share my part. I am Emerald's sister and we grew up together. Although we were raised non-denominational Christian, my mother, who is an amazing woman, and I have always been supportive of Emerald and miss them dearly. We have always accepted them. They cut communication with us. We have tried to reach out, but they no longer wish to have contact with us, and we haven't talked in years. I'm just commenting in hopes of clearing up misinformation. Also, my grandpa does have Huntington's. It's late onset, which means it doesn't show up till late in life. My grandpa is currently suffering from the side effects and is not doing well. It's very sad. My mother has it too, but is not yet showing symptoms, thankfully, and I have not been tested. Lastly, I do not believe Emerald has Tourette's syndrome and never showed any symptoms as a child. They are mentally ill though. I love my sister, I always will, and I wish them the best, but I don't agree with what they have done. It's incredibly disrespectful to fake a mental illness for any reason.
Bro, this constant plural pronoun usage is hurting my fucking head. It took me until about like here to figure out what was happening in this paragraph, because it kept going between the singular person Emerald and they and them. I'm like, who else is in this story? Who are we talking about? I'm so fucking confused.
My sincerest apology to everyone their actions have hurt, although
like that.
It's not my apology.
That's so confusing.
I do wish for Emerald's safety. All I ask is respect and privacy for my parents and grandparents. And if you don't believe me, I'm happy to answer any questions you all may have, as long as they're not disrespectful. The post received over 400 responses from those desperate to get an insight into the unique psyche of an individual who would fake a disorder for TikTok. Do you know why Emerald might have fabricated all this? Did they have a tendency to want attention regardless of it being good or bad? Honestly, I'm unsure why Emerald would fabricate this. I was kind of in shock when I first heard about everything. But yes, they do have a history of fabricating stories or stretching the truth, so to speak.
I'm not saying this is the case, by the way, but it's always smart to remember, this is the internet, and there's no proof that that's even her sister. Not saying it's not. I'm just saying this is the internet with billions of human beings. Unless you see proof, always don't believe something immediately.
Do you know why they cut communication with you? I'm not exactly sure. I've tried reaching out to them to talk about it, but they never reply. One day we were no longer friends on Facebook and they stopped talking to me. I think they thought me and my mum were unsupportive of them, but we really did support them and love them to the fullest. If I did do something wrong to hurt them, I only...
Why are you calling your sister like multiple human beings? I don't understand. I understand like a couple of times when you're not thinking, right? Because you're just like going through the motions, but it's every single time.
We could have a conversation about it. My own experience with this behavior is that you know the truth. Therefore, you're dangerous to their delusion.
Everyone's doing it. What is this? Is this all rewritten or something? I've never seen anyone speak like this, and it's creepy.
However, it would be when Emerald herself commented on the post that everyone knew the game was well and truly over. My diagnosis that I've gotten in adulthood you cannot speak on, as we had no contact, and do not blame my partners. You say that this has been hard for you, and that was never my intent. I started awareness because I never wanted anyone to be ashamed as I was. This visceral hatred has been hard for me. It caused my children's school to be called because someone said lies, and they tried to take my children. They're afraid to go to school now. It's caused my car to be trashed. It's caused me to be spit on in public, because I wanted to help people. The money I received, I donated. I volunteered with the Tourettes Association of America. I did public outreach. I was interviewed for a person's thesis. I was interviewed for a podcast, but asked them not to air it out of concern for them. The messages I got from people saying their child wasn't afraid to go to school anymore because of me changed their life. Or a woman saying her husband finally saw a neurologist and getting help. I met friends who had the same experiences as me, who made me feel seen. Now I've closed down everything Tourette's related. I've given up, you all win, and I'm back where I started, living in shame of being different. Please.
Okay, well, now we know it's the sister. Why the fuck are you responding to your sister on Reddit? What the fuck is wrong with you? It's your sister. Just like call her, text her or something. What are you doing? You know? It's your sister. Also, remember, all this stuff could be made up too. It's just...
Please just leave me alone.
Always be skeptical.
A day later,
at the beginning.
Ticks and Rose's TikTok account
a little bit
was
skeptical
permanently. 3 days after that, she would address the deletion on her alternate business page in a video which conveniently featured absolutely zero ticks.
Hey, I was not planning to address this anymore because addressing it has not fixed it. I was literally bullied off the internet. So I do not do awareness for Tourette's anymore, regardless of the fact that I do have a clinical diagnosis.
To be fair, and I believe that she's faking it, but to be fair, she's doing a lot of cuts. I do cuts for multiple reasons, many reasons. Sometimes it's because I want to take a drink of water. Sometimes it's because I got to go get something. Sometimes because I'm trying to think to see if there's anything else to say or do, depending on the video. And sometimes it's because I need to get some ticks out. There's many reasons. She could be doing the same thing. I'm not saying she is. In my opinion, she's clearly faking it, but I'm just saying.
I'm spending my time on my yarn business, and
it is yarn. Okay, he was saying yarn.
And I just
want to
live my life, and yeah.
Emerald continues to post photos for her yarn dyeing business to her Instagram
yarn
account,
dyeing
Studio. However, she hasn't shown her face on camera since the deletion of Ticks and Roses, showing that perhaps, just maybe, she's learned somewhat of a lesson from this incredibly
bro, do you ever this hurts my head. What are you supposed to do? Right? Because, like, when you see words on someone's shirt, you want to read it. But then you realize you're looking at a chick's chest and you're like, oops, my bad. I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry. But wait, no. You have words on your chest and you're dancing. Like, what the fuck is what am I supposed to be doing right now? I don't understand. What's going on?
Experience.
Okay. Well, that was a video. That was an interesting video for me. I had no idea anyone faked Tourette's. That's really, really interesting. The reason it took so long for me to start doing face cam anything is because I didn't want my Tourette's to be visible. And at the time, I had a lot of tics that were with my jaw and just my face in general. I've done my best to change them. There's still a couple, but most of them are, I mean, I just stopped caring as much too. That's another thing. I still don't understand how you get clicks and money and all this stuff from faking it. It seemed very clear to me that she faked it, but who knows? I think it's pretty stupid to fake it if you are faking it. Yeah, but I don't think it's a bannable offense. Doesn't sound like she got banned, but she like banned herself, basically. So I guess there you go. That was really interesting. You might have to watch more of this guy. His videos are really good. They're really cool. You got a lot of good topics in there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you want to suggest any videos for reacts, feel free to leave those in the comments. Only the names and the channels. Do not use links. Put those in the Discord in the description below, because YouTube will eat the links. But I'm going to go eat my dinner now. So thank you guys very much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.